Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Average Joe's has been working out pretty well for us over the last few days, so I thought we'd have another one today. That, and of course, the pros won't play any bloody games and send their replays into me, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy today's one anyway. It's going to be a custom 3v3, and the good part is I've got no news or information to bring you at the beginning of this one, so we can roll straight to the action, which is going to take place on Twin Rivers. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. So when you're on some strange AI-driven, computer-controlled world, you do as the AI do, and in this case, even if it's being retardo, when it says this is Team 1 down here at the bottom, and this is Team 2 up here at the top, you go with the flow. So going first for Team 1 down here at the bottom, rearguard air position, it's Apple Pie, and he's going Ferrari Red Cybran, opening first land. Next up to the east, or northeast, for Team 1, we have GFY's Depony, my very good friend, in Pontiff White, also going Cybran and also opening first land. After him, lastly, for Team 1, we have JJ's AI. Look out for the lens flare, everybody. And he is going Baby Pink, first land, looks like second air, and then third and fourth land after that. Also going Cybran, so it's a three-way Cybran affair there for Team 1. Moving up to Team 2, rearguard air position. First of all, we have Bemble, who's also going Cybran. I'm seeing a theme here. Opening first land in Elephantine Grey. Can't remember if I said that already. Next to the south, we have Hot Fog, who's also going Cybran in Cyanide Scion, opening first land. And last but not least, for Team 2, guess what? It's Justify in Combat Green, opening first land, also going Cybran. So it is a sextuple Cybran mirror matchup, which of course means after this is over, I shall be cleaning profusely beneath my toenails with a Stanley knife just to get clean. So there we have it. Game quality at 96%, everybody. 100 points given up in favor of Team 2 at air position. The weaker side is going to be on this side of things, the left edge of the main landmass. The battle between Justify and JJ's AI, that's a 900 to 600 gap on the global ranking there. And GFY Depony against Hot Fog is going to be a 1300 to 1000 kind of rating. Side islands on Twin Rivers going to be as important as it ever was. 4 mass extractors, of course, to pick up, and the extra boulders to scoop as well. Engineers making their way to the central reservation. Of course, there are those wrecks ready to scoop, and Depony in place already to get the transport loaded up and sent back to base. In come a couple of units from Hot Fog. Looks like he's trying a deny here, maybe. The mole stops just short, and of course will have picked up the other units in the area as well from Depony, so that might be why he's going to allow that engineer to go, and that might also be why the engineer's not sticking around to pick up the mech marines. Instead, looks like he's going to head back and grab a radar first of all. So there we go, scout plane out and T1 bomber for Bemble, who then switches up to working on a transport. Typically you're going to go for a transport ASAP on this if you're in the air position, because you want to go for the side islands, and there is the transport there for Apple Pie. And he's loading up Mantis first of all, anticipating, I'm sure, the fact that he's going to have to fight off Bemble in one of these two areas. Bemble already making a move to the top left island, and what's he got on there? Looks like he's got 1 or 2 units of build capacity, but he has got a Mantis or 2 on there as well. In comes the T1 bomber, just too late to hamper the loading of troops onto the skyhook there, but does pick up 2 engineers on that bombing run in the main base. The scout plane has seen that skyhook fly over, so of course the bomber is now trailing behind it. That presents an issue, of course, for Apple Pie. He can drop his troops off and hopefully scatter them, but as long as he's got air support incoming, which it looks like he does. T1 Inti inbound. In comes a Jester going up to the top meanwhile, and that transport we thought we saw going up to the top left has been diverted. It looks like he's now sitting down to the bottom right. Meanwhile, a couple of labs out from Justify, making life difficult there for JJ's AI in the early game. And I love the call there from Apple Pie. He didn't go straight in with the skyhook, he just kept it off by the big boulder there, and instead is going to try and mop things up with his Inti. It's a one-on-one in the air game there between the interceptors, and now he's got a 2-to-1 advantage. In comes another one there from Bemble. The two transports looks like they might touch down simultaneously. The Skyhook for Apple Pie taking some damage now, down to just a couple of hundred hit points. Needs to get those on the ground ASAP, taking some more damage. But there they go. Just one engineer on board, though, of course, the Mantis do have built-in engineering suites, but very modest amounts of build power. But he's not going to keep those to stick around to assist the engineer. Instead, he's going to send those off on the attack. But 3 units of build capacity have made landfall there for Bemble, and that land factory just flies up, and they immediately start work on a T1 PD. They're not going to get it done in time, so instead they go for a quick reclaim on the lead 2 Mantis, and the third one is going to bug on out of there. Will pick up one of the engineer kills, but that looks like it could be a bit of a hold. Compare that down here with the engineer for Apple Pie, who is still just slowly putting that together. Lots of T-breaks involved there, and you can see mass now empty, so not a lot going on there on the building front for Apple Pie. So a very busy first 5 minutes there in this one. Always nice to see lots of tactical play. In comes that other drop we were waiting for from Bemble. This one very much heavily centered on build capacity. That looks like 6 engineers coming in. Apple Pie anticipating the drop, brings in some intercepts. It's going to need to be quick because Bemble's going to drop those on the deck pretty sharpish, I would imagine. Gets into the destination, and there we go, all 6 engineers on the ground, which would be nice now to see Apple Pie follow this one up with a T1 bomber. Looks like he might be able to temporarily hold control over the skies. If he had a T1 bomber coming in now, he could disrupt the construction of that and maybe pick off all 6 of those engineers if Bemble's attention was elsewhere. But alas, it's not going to be that T1 factory online, so potentially an early hold there from Bemble on both of the side islands. Large advantage for Team 2. Let's take a look at the center, or we will in just a second. There's another little bit of play coming in now. A Jester in from JJ's AI says, yeah, I'm 600. I don't care. I'm going to play like a pro. In comes the gunship, destroying all the build capacity on that side island for Bemble. Going to get all 6 of those engineers, and not going to be able to stick around to kill the T1 land factory. Too many Sky Slammers in the way. But we will go back to the main island where JJ's AI and Justify now battling out with their Mantis. The odd Medusa in there as well. Looks like initial engagements might favor Justify just a little, but Deponi is sending in reinforcements as well, so couple of platoons of Mantis turns up to assist there. But no player dropping the ball in the early game, although Apple Pie scorning his early airplay. Feels like he hasn't covered sufficiently. I'd say certainly Team 2 have got the better of the early game with Bemble grabbing the 2 side islands, but I wouldn't say Apple Pie has massively dropped the ball. Made some nice plays that just haven't worked out. Jester over the top now from Apple Pie. Picks off a radar, but probably gets torn to pieces by the Sky Slammers in the locale around Justify's commander there. And Deponi not really pushing on this eastern edge against Hot Fog. Instead, building a lot of wall sections and just kind of sealing the gap there with a couple of platoons of Mantis. Excuse me. Still haven't recovered from the weekend. We've got here another transport now. Skyhook heading to the bottom right-hand corner, and what happened there? It's like camera fail. Looks like we've got a group of units bunched up, ready for a bit of a drop here, maybe. Bemble getting aggressive, scooping those units on board. Some Mantis, some Medusa, and where is he heading with them? Well, he's going to drop them in behind Deponi's bottom mass extractors there. One of them complete a T2 already. The other one very slowly making its way there with the assistance of those T1 NGs. And we're starting to enter the T2 phase of things. Most of these players getting their T2 factories online, both air and land. And there we have it. A couple of Mantis and 4 Medusa should be able to rip through these mass extractors pretty sharpish. Be a nice play to try and snag those engineers, but of course we take a look at what Bemble can see. It's not immediately apparent until he moves forward that there are engineers right before the plucking. He's dispatched from Apple Pie to cover over the top of those forces. Rody now with a drop of his own heading somewhere. In fact, he's got a couple of drops waiting. This looks like it could be a bit of a push to knock out the top left-hand corner. 1 or 2 engineers on board there as well, so Deponi making a play. Needs to be a little bit careful, doesn't run over the top of those Sky Slammers with the transports. And those units still alive, causing trouble there for Deponi. Deponi rolling out with his ACU, picks off a couple of them. But in comes the drop. One of the Skyhooks is down, but all of the troops land successfully, it would seem, or most of them. A couple of Rhinos in there as well, so unless we get some emergency air support in from Team 2, this should be a conquer for Team 1. And meanwhile, they managed to control that little threat from the drop at the bottom. Deponi working on some T2 power. JJ is requesting mass from his teammates. So there goes the top left island. We do have 1 engineer up here, which Deponi is going to want to go after, but this is going to sting. A Corsair inbound now from Bemble. Going straight, it would seem, after the engineers and perhaps the factory down here at the bottom left of this island. A couple of them, in fact. 2 passes from those 2 takes it down, or a pass each from those 2 takes it down to 1,400 hit points. And this next one should finish it off. There it goes. Another drop inbound from the bottom right-hand corner. Is that heading into the same place, or is this going onto the rear plateau? Well, it looks like it's going onto the rear plateau to hit Apple Pie, but Apple Pie almost clairvoyantly lying in wait for it with his ACU. Quick overcharge should deal with that if he's on the ball. We've also got another transport heading the other way from Deponi. To shut down this little avenue of attack. Finally gets those 2 Rhinos on the ground. Another transport inbound and another. So these guys crossing over one at a time. Apple Pie shooting down the transport and dealing with the units as well. So no major threat there. In comes that other transport, but a lot of Apple Pie's inties are overhead, and that one doesn't even get the troops on the ground. Free mass delivery for Deponi, who's nearby. Deponi, meanwhile, on the side island down at the bottom right, rolls in with his 2 Rhinos straight into a couple of T1 PDs and a bunch of Medusa further back as well, preventing a withdraw even if he had wanted to. Renegade out now as well, finishing with the last mass extractor off from Deponi. And Bemble can now get to work with the 1 engineer that he hid, secreted away into the corner of that side island. But very, very quiet on the main landmass. We probably suspected not a great deal was going to happen on this side of things, but it's still very quiet between Deponi and Hot Fog. Deponi, of course, has been wrapped up recently going after the side islands. Corsairs coming in now, though, and they're going after Apple Pie. And going straight after his power generator. That T2, one of two, and it survives the first pass, but will soon fall, I'm pretty sure of it. And a T2 transport, interesting. Dragonfly there, destroyed. There goes the power generator, while Apple Pie is on an upgrade. However, he's still just about enough, got enough in the tank to carry on. Definitely doesn't want to lose this one, though. Corsairs seem to have been tidied up in good order, though. Renegade out from Apple Pie, trying to make a run for it. Corsair on its tail, gets shot down by a banger coming in from Depony. And another drop that Hot Fog was yelling about coming in from Depony, this time going after Bemble's rear plateau. And it's got a banger as well, so it's going to help ward off any air power that might come in to clean out these rhinos. And Depony sensibly rolls straight on forward. Often it'd be tempting to stick around and just kill off what mass extractors are in the immediate vicinity. But you've got to be aware that the build capacity is going to be working on T1 PD a little bit further out of range at first opportunity. So Depony goes searching for that. Gunship coming up over the middle from Apple Pie. Going to wheel right after heading up over the top of Hot Fog's base. So two of the T2 mass extractors are down. Bemble getting an upgrade on his commander now. One Cerberus turret a little bit further back. The only real weapon Bemble's got at the moment to deal with these rhinos while he's stuck on an upgrade. There goes another T2 mass extractor, so Bemble not producing a lot of mass here at all. 33 mass per tick. Jumps to 86. Gus, the commentator, comes in. That's got to be reclaim, though. So it actually looks like Bemble, highest rated player, short stacking. He's been very aggressive. Short stacking on Eco at the beginning of this one. A little bit of jostling backwards and forwards between JJ and Justify. JJ using some Vipers to good effect there in the left side of the main landmass. And finally, Bemble manages to finish off the last Rhino and shut down Depony's drop there, but only inflicting quite a lot of damage on Bemble. That should slow things up somewhat. We've got a naval yard that's gone online there from Hot Fog, so we might be looking to seal off this side with the odd cruiser or two. But look out, Apple Pie en route on a transport, so we've got a comm drop on the cards here. Now, just where is he headed? There's a Dragonfly for Depony coming in as well, with what looks like it could be a brick on board. Large air wing of T1 Inties coming in to run screen for the commander. Very risky play indeed. There are T1 Inties lying in wait. If Apple Pie gets shot down here, that's it. But there's so many T1 Interceptors coming in. They take an awful lot of damage coming in over the flak from Hot Fog's base. And it looks like that might just have been a banger, running a little bit of protection for Apple Pie. Depony says, give me a tranny. Not sure what gender-bending nefarious purpose he has in mind. But Apple Pie with T3 engineering suite and personal stealth, or the stealth generator, immediately gets to work on producing some T2 PDs. Bemble's still back here on an upgrade. He's got the RAS already. That's just started the other one, so that may be the T2 engineering suite to help try and counter this. Apple Pie starting to produce more and more PD, and you can see the advantage he's got on build rate. Bemble looks like he's gone for the gun on that upgrade. He's going to try and Rambo it, but there's quite a lot of T2 PD, and Apple Pie just throwing defensive structures up now very quickly indeed. Bemble about to drop into the yellow already. He's not going to be able to keep this up. There's no way he's going to dislodge Apple Pie with the commander. He's going to have to give this one up, or he's going to get himself killed. 5,500 hit points and falling. Apple Pie working on another shield generator, trying to overlap them as best he can. And once he's got it reasonably secure, he can just start spamming PD as best he can now. Justify sending in assistance, though, in the form of a bunch of loyalists. That could be pretty difficult for Apple Pie to deal with. Those shield gens, of course, unupgraded and paper thin early on, but they're affording him some protection to begin with. Just one of them remaining online. Apple Pie switches up to producing some T1 PD. That's an excellent idea. In come some fire beetles from Hot Fog. A couple of them going to connect. That takes Apple Pie down to around 10,000 hit points and falling. Those loyalists opening up now, shredding hit points off the commander, but Apple Pie throws up another shield just in time and then gets to work again, or thinks about getting to work again, on some more T1 PD. He's trying to keep the shields online and juggle between the point defense, but it's no easy task. There goes the last loyalist. Bemble has walked back into the fray with his comm and has a whaler on Apple Pie as well. This could be the end of Apple Pie if he's not very, very careful. He's out of range, really, for any assistance from his teammates. So I say that, but in comes the pony. That must have been the tranny he was asking for. A couple of bricks on board there. Looks like they might be landing to the other side of Bemble's base. Bemble's going to have to withdraw to try and deal with that. The bricks make landfall. Meanwhile, back to Apple Pie. He's still surviving. He's got around 7,000 hit points left. Still building shield gens as quickly as they're being taken down. The whalers, though, getting shredded by the tracers that are online in quite some serious number. And now he looks like he might have solidified his position. Depony, meanwhile, splitting up those bricks very nicely indeed, making sure they can't get taken out with one overcharge. One of them goes down, and Bemble should be able to take the other one out as soon as he has access to another one. There it goes. But at what cost? Apple Pie now embedded like the tick he is, and causing all kinds of problems to the east or southeast of Bemble's base. Excuse me. Awful lot to impart to you here. In comes a brick now from Hot Fog and another couple of fire beetles, and we've got trebuchets from Justify, so the threat is not over here for Apple Pie. He needs to get more point defense online and quickly. Brick rolling into range now, taking a lot of fire. One of the fire beetles gets picked off nice and quickly. There's just a little bit too much point defense, I think, now for Hot Fog or Justify to breach through. I think this was a great idea, the trebuchets. Meanwhile, JJ sees the opportunity in front of him to make a push, but it's T1 mainly against that one brick that's holding the line, and I think Justify should be able to do just that. Still very touch and go, but this point defense creep edging further and further into Bemble's base, and it looks like Bemble will either have to withdraw or trade in his life for it. Lots of Cerberus turrets now in range of that T3 Air HQ. Still producing whalers, and in fact a lot of the tracers have been destroyed from the trebuchet fire, but we have one Myrmidon online over here, which is dishing out a lot of hurt to each and every whaler that it comes into contact with. Bemble now pushing out over to the west to face the ponies. Bricks that have emerged again on the other side of his base, but he can't manage it. Sends out the GG, and there it goes. So a beautiful little drop from Apple Pie and some assistance from Depony kills off Team 2's top-rated player and leaves them without any dedicated air player. Apple Pie now working on some Gunthers. Wants to send a little bit more hurt their way. Not sure the Gunthers going to be able to reach the, not quite reach the main base of either of the two remaining players. And in fact, the amount of trebuchet fire that's still raining down on Apple Pie, proxy base is being torn apart. And of course, Bemble was in control of the two side islands as well, so they're now vacant. Hot Fog, meanwhile, has hit T2 Navy down here, so see him working on a Siren-class cruiser. That will cut down air travel for Team 1 on this side of things. Trebuchet fire coming southwards from Hot Fog over the central reservation, hitting JJ's AI. And Apple Pie has spent so much time building defensive structures, and yet he's got very few online up here. It's a testament to how much pressure he's been under at the back there, but kudos from Team 1 completing the comm kill there. And now Deponi pressuring Hot Fog from the rear, which is never a good place to be pressured from. Fire Beetles rolling in to deal with these bricks one at a time, but so far to no avail. This one should make it through though, and there it goes. So those two bricks dealt with. The pony telling Apple Pie to get out of there. They need to get a transport in there first of all. You can see him loitering with a dragonfly up at the top of the screen now. But Bemble, of course, was Team 1's, or Team 2's, sorry, air player. So that makes it in without any difficulties. Of course, they'll be aware it's in now. In come the bricks. Apple Pie needs to board that transport and get out of Dodge immediately. There he goes. Now, any air units inbound? Well, no, it doesn't seem that way. And a little bit of off mapping there. I thought I was going crazy. I couldn't see where he'd gone. Almost worth sending him up here to try and grab the side island with all that extra build capacity, but the pony looks like he's inbound on that task already. We might actually be going in for a round the back towards Bemble's old base. I do apologise for the state of my lungs today. Apple Pie does indeed set down at the top left island with his comm and immediately starts work on building up that position. So taking a look at Eco, Team 1 on about 242 total mass pulled in, and that contrasts to Team 2's 228. Of course, I'll be pulling in a lot less now with the loss of Bemble. 330 to 177 at current reading team values. So a massive eco advantage. Bemble from the grave telling his teammates that they need air or SAMs. You can have a little bit of anti-air coverage down here, and the Salems and the Siren should be able to cause a few problems for Deponi from the ridge. You can see a Monkey Lord under construction in the background there. Had a good look at these guys for a while on Team 2, and a Monkey Lord under construction from Justify as well. Not a huge amount going on in Hot Fog's main base. And really can throw you losing a player like that. And they really need to get up there and reclaim all of that mass, get those mass extractors online. A lot of catch-up work to do for Team 2 now. Torp bombers out for Apple Pie, who along with the bricks have dealt with the Salems and now look like they're going to go after that cruiser, and it's in fact a whaler that manages to finish the cruiser off. Hot Fog just not getting the ships out in enough quantity to shut the place down. Lead Salem taking some torpedo fire there. Barely torpedoes, they're almost dive bombers. There goes the first experimental of the game online now for Depony. Which way is he going to send it? A lot of troops moving for Hot Fog over towards Justified's side of the map. Justified already has a handful of bricks, in fact more than that, quite a few bricks in place, and Justified completes his Monkey Lord in good time as well. Come JJ's loyalists, whole hordes of Bernie Sanders. The Monkey Lord is going to clear that up in good time, I think, but question is where is Depony heading with his? Well, it looks like he's bringing it up to try and seal this threat. Hot Fog now unashamedly beelining over towards JJ's side of the map, but Apple Pie giving him a real hard time on the way there with these whalers, and as soon as he sees that Monkey Lord, going to think twice about it. Torp bombers for Apple Pie just sitting up there at the top in enemy territory, parked up because why not? Monkey Lord on Monkey Lord, as we said before, you usually go the way of the experimental that fires first. However, with the whalers in the air as well, advantage is going to be with Team 1. Justify not wanting to expose that Monkey Lord to the opposing microwave laser there for the pony. But I don't think it's really going to matter. Justifies Spiderbot now into the yellow, below 20,000 HP. Pony's taking quite a lot of damage as well, but he should be able to nuke all of this and still have stuff left in the tank. And there goes the last major weapon really for Team 2. Bemble really was key to this team. And And now Whalers with a free rein for Apple Pie, going straight after Justify's power. Takes out the ion reactor, takes out the T2. Justify bingo on power, minus 2,000 net on current expenditure. And it's about to have a very large problem indeed. And there goes the Commander. Justify out of the game almost on the dot of 32 minutes. JJ's saying that Justify could have killed him off. I'm pretty sure the pony would have kept him alive. Whalers over the top of Hot Fog's base, dishing out quite a bit of damage, but getting eviscerated by all of the flak. But it's all moot at this point. The pony coming in around the back with yet another drop, couple of bricks making landfall. Hot Fog now getting surrounded. Monkey Lord coming in around the back. Bricks coming in the front. Yet more gunships thrown in for good measure. And there goes Hot Fog, coming in with a transport to try and save himself. That was optimistic. There we go, 33 minutes and 20 seconds. Game is over. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I certainly did. There's definitely going to be more to come from me in the near future. I'm going to try and get another one done tomorrow. I am going away for about a week or so. I'm going to try and get maybe one or two more done. And then so there might be a bit of a gap, and then I'll plonk one in the middle of next week. Having recorded, say, that tomorrow, and then, I don't know, maybe sometime like not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after next, we should get one in. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But like I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. More to come from me in the future. But in the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.